Guys, thank you so much for tuning back into my channel where I love to talk about wealth, knowledge, love, and laughter. All right, so listen, if you're enjoying this content that I'm sharing, make sure that you subscribe, like, share this information so that you can hear more from me, okay? All right, so let's get into it. So today we're talking about, of course, the power of consistency, but how that relates to our mind and our mindset, okay? I recently put out a poll on TikTok and I asked the viewers if they had issues with being consistent. I had some people to say yes, had a few to say no, and I will probably post those results somewhere in this video. But it was interesting to me that majority of people said that no, I don't have a problem being consistent, but I did have a few that voted yes. And I wanted to just clarify some things because I think that a lot of times when we think of being consistent, we think of a person that's not procrastinating. You know, they're getting up, they're doing their daily tasks, their daily chores with going to work or whatever that is. But my consistency more so pertains to mindset. Of course, we need to be consistent in, everything that we do with our task and reaching our goals. But like I've stated before, in order for us to really obtain our goals, we have to learn how to be consistent in our mind. We have to practice being consistent in our mind and our emotions, okay? And so I believe that a lot of those yes answers were pertaining to, yes, I get up, I do what I have to do, I go to my 9 to 5, I come home, I do this, and really that's routine, right? When you think about it, that's routine and that's programming that we've been programmed, things that we've been programmed to do, unfortunately, according to the system and how things work. Like I say, we're taught to go to school, graduate, go get a good job and go work for somebody else for 20 plus years, right? So we're programmed into this system on getting up, going, doing, coming home, repeat, right? And so when I talk about, or when I ask the question, do you feel like you're consistent or have issues with being consistent, I'm not merely talking about the mundane routine that we're accustomed to. I'm not talking about just the systematic way of doing things. Do you feel like you're consistent in your mindset, in your emotions, when you respond to the person that's in the grocery store next to you? How do you respond to your spouse or your children? How do you respond to yourself? Right? Are we consistent in those emotions? And so, like I say, it takes a lot more than just merely a system of doing things. A system and a programming of doing things is not going to ultimately get us to our long-term goal. That's going to get us to the goal of the system. It's going to get us to the goal of others, right? Funding someone else's other goals and dreams. But is that going to get us to our goal when we're constantly in that program of doing things for someone else, to fund someone else's goals and dreams, right? And so we have to first learn how to be consistent in our mind. We have to be emotionally intelligent, okay? So emotional intelligence comes with realizing the emotions that you're feeling. Like, what do I feel in this moment? And acknowledging that, of course, and then working through that, not pushing it away or, brushing it under the rug, so to speak. So just being emotionally intelligent in your emotions pertains a lot to the mind, minding your mind. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking about, right? So if you're this type of person where you get up each and every day and you're upset, you're angry, you're frustrated in the morning. When you get to work and you see your coworkers, you're barely speaking because you have to have your coffee first. Do you have to have your coffee first? Or should you be already thankful for the life that God has allowed you to see again? Should you already be thankful for the breath of life that you're breathing? That is a privilege and an honor, right? Or it should be. But I think that we've gotten into this programming and this, like I said, systematic way of doing things to where we feel like, oh, I'm not able to do this, that, and the other until I have this or that, whether it be coffee or whatever. As soon as our feet hit the ground, we should be rejoicing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that every time I wake up in the morning that I'm rejoicing and that I have a big smile on my face. Now, I am a morning person. So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be more, chippery in the morning versus in the afternoon. Not afternoon, at night, right? So I'm going to be more excited, more energized in the morning versus at night. If you catch me after 9 o'clock at night, you may not want to see me, okay? So in those moments, that's when I have to really practice emotional intelligence, because I already know how my emotions become late at night. I'm already aware of those emotions that I experience. And because of that, I have to be more intentional about my emotional intelligence during those times of the day. Because if I am not intentional about how I respond to people, I will react and I will shut down. Okay? And so, listen, if you have been around me and it's after 9 p.m. and I seem a little snappy, I apologize in advance, all right? Or I apologize for the snappiness if you've been around me. Okay, but no, so yes, so there are moments in the day where we have to actually practice this and be intentional. So if you know that you're not a morning person, you need to realize that, acknowledge those feelings, not make excuses or, shove it under the rug. Acknowledge those emotions, and you may have to practice emotional intelligence more in the morning time because you know that you're not a morning person. So you may have to be intentional about that, okay? And so this is so very important, guys, because there are so many things that happen throughout the day. There are so many things that happen throughout the day. And if we're not practicing emotional intelligence, we will be walking, what's his name? Oscar from Sesame Street. We will be walking Oscars. Just walking around in our trash can, just angry, right? Because we're not practicing emotional intelligence. So when I speak about consistency, of course, I'm talking about different tasks and things that we should be doing. But at the end of the day, the consistency starts in your mind first. Because if our mind is not together, it's going to be very difficult for us to get anything done. Think about it. If you know a person that's ever been depressed, or if you've ever been depressed, right? When you're in that state of mind, when you're not realizing what you're thinking about and you're allowing your thoughts to take over, what does that do? That puts our bodies in a lower vibration. What does that mean? That means that we're not excited, we're not happy, right? We're more so sad. We're depressed. Depressed. That's a low vibration. That's a low frequency that we're allowing to set into our bodies. And so in order to combat that, we have to first acknowledge those emotions. Take steps on raising up your vibration, whether that be listening to music that really excites you and elevates you, right? Music is one thing that really has the ability to really raise or lower our vibration. And so listening to music, you may have a favorite song that you like to listen to. Turn that on. Listen to that. Also, I haven't tried this, but I've heard from different studies that jumping up and down, it gets your body rattling, gets you excited, right? And that's going to raise that vibration. One thing that Some of my colleagues and I used to do when I was working back in the mental health field was we would just laugh, like just laugh out loud and not really have anything to laugh about, just laughing. That raises your vibration. Even if you don't feel it before you do it, even if you don't feel like laughing, when you do it, it's going to begin to raise your vibration. And it may seem silly at first, but honestly, it works. So just whatever you need to do to raise your vibration to get you back into operating on a higher frequency is going to be very beneficial for coming out of those depressive emotions and states that you're feeling. Okay. All right, guys. So listen, once again, if you enjoy this content, if this is helping you, or if you feel like this is going to help someone that you know, subscribe, okay, so that you can hear more from me. Like, follow, and share this information. And thank you so much for tuning back into my channel, where I love to talk about wealth, knowledge, love, and laughter. Be great. Have a great week.